Okay, good morning, students. So today is Tuesday, October 24th, week of October 23 to 27. Today we have an assignment. Let me go walk you through the instructions. Okay. Let me check this out. So today we have an assignment. It's called calculator. Students will make a calculator on Google Sheets. Please follow the steps. Now, instructions. I'm gonna open the instructions, give you the instructions, and just walk you through the steps. So step 1, create a Google Sheet. Now, you know how to create a Google Sheets. You're gonna click on Add or Create and pick the green sheets, and it's gonna open a new file. Next step, we're gonna open the file and then follow the step 2. So guys, if you really read the steps, this is very clear. All you have to do is just thoroughly read the steps. Okay, that's the common mistake some students do. Step number 2, name first column number 1 and second column number 2. So we're gonna name, this is the first column, we're gonna name it number 1, and then we're gonna name the second column number 2. So you see, I'm done with step number 2. Step number 3, name third column addition, fourth column subtraction, fifth column multiplication, and then sixth column division. As you can see, we do just basic math operations. Okay, so here we're going to type addition. This is column number 3. Column number 4, subtraction. Column number 5, multiplication, and column number 6, division. I'm done with step number 3. Step number 4, write any numbers under number 1 and then number 2. Write any numbers under number 1, let's say 45, and number 2, let's say 100. Okay? And then number 5, under addition, write the formula. Name of the cell where number 1 is, plus name of the cell where number 2 is. So, just generally speaking, guys, each cell has a name. Each of the cells, this one, these are all cells. Okay, all of them represent cells. Now, each cell has a name. As you can see, each cell is located on one column and one row. So each cell is actually an intersection of a column and a row. Now, the name of the cell is usually defined by the name of the column and row. As you can see, this is column C, and this is row 6. And then when you click on each cell, it also shows the name of the cell here. You see B7, because it's located on B column and then row 7. B7. For instance, this one is C3. This one is D3. This one is K21. You see the cell row name and then column name are highlighted. So what you're going to do on the next step is you are going to write the formula. For addition, it's going to be name of the cell where the number 1 is plus name of the cell where the number 2 is. So we're going to write name of the cell where number 1 is. Where is the number 1? A2. So I'm going to put equal sign A2. Then you put plus. Where's my number 2 is? On column B2. So we're going to type B2. Enter. So when you guys do that, it's called a formula. Formula automatically adds 2 numbers. Normally, if I were to ask you what is 45 plus 100, you would just say 145, right? But here, you don't have to write it. It just automatically does it for you. In case you change the number, for instance, 200, and then we have 100. So what would be the addition of these 200 numbers? 300. You see, it automatically does it for you. That's what we call a calculator. Now, subtraction, we do the same thing. We're going to write the formula again. Equal sign. I'm subtracting number 2 from number 1, right? So number 1 minus number 2. What's the name of the cell where number 1 is. It is A2. So we're going to type A2. It's here, right? Minus, because it's subtraction, and we're going to write the name of the second cell, the number which we're subtracting from the first, which is B2. So 100, it's located on B2. So we're going to type B2. Enter. And then you see 200 minus 100 is 100. 200 plus 100 is 300. So we're going to test it out later. Third one is a multiplication. We do the same way. We're going to make a equal sign, which is a start of a formula. And then we multiplying number 1 with number 2. So my number 1 is located at A2. We're going to type A2. And the multiplication in Excel, it is star sign, star. And then the second number we're multiplying is B2, because 100 is located on B2. So it's going to be B2. Enter. So 200 times 100 is 2,000. And then lastly, we're going to do equal sign. I'm dividing number 1 divided by number 2. So it's going to be, again, name of the cell. A2 division is backslash. And then we're going to do B2 because I'm dividing 100, right? B2. Enter. And it gives me the answer. So now, lastly, the last step says beautify the table by adding border lines, coloring cells, and text. So let's do that as well. So last step says beautify the table, and we are going to beautify it by adding colors and everything. Now, we'll go back to the table where we were making the multiplication. So I'm going to highlight the whole table, add a border line. Okay, you can make it a thicker line by going here and then just picking the thicker line. Okay. Okay, so lastly, we're going to modify your table by adding colors. Okay. So lastly, what we can do is we can highlight this name of the column. So look, guys, by naming columns, I mean this column, okay? Normally, this name of the column is A, but I just want you to name this table column like this, all right? Now, we're going to highlight the name of the columns and give it a bigger size by changing this. Okay, and then adding a color, let's say blue. And then also mark these two numbers. Let's say, yeah, let's keep them black. Let's make them bigger as well. Like this. You know, you can actually also play with the width and height of your columns, right? So we're gonna highlight these two, make them bigger like this. All right, so still can make the letters bigger by doing that, and then aligning them in the middle, goes vertical and horizontally. It's been misspelled. Let's fix that. Number 2, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Seems like this did not fit, so we make it double click and expand it. Same here. And then again, numbers also will make it bigger. All right. Align them in the center horizontally, center vertically, and there we go. And then these two numbers be the same, but these numbers will change. So I'm going to also color these numbers. Let's make them green. Okay. Now, every time you change these two numbers, it's going to affect the other 4 because these 2 are added, will be reflected here. And then again, here we have a formula. Okay, and then here we have a formula. So let's give it a test. Let's type 50 here, and then let's type 2 here. So as you can see, 50 plus 2 is 52. 50 minus 2 is 48. 50 times 2 is 100. 50 divided by 2 is 25. You see, these four are changing depending on what numbers you put here. So it is a simple calculator. Thank you very much. You can turn it in as it is.